One thing I always remember from my childhood, as it was one of my favorite pastimes, was watching YouTube. And I'm not talking about the YouTube that you have now with the quick cuts, loud noises, and crazy edits. It was a YouTube that had videos made by people who were just being creative. And I could watch that type of YouTube for hours personally. This was the time where you were a big name with 100k subs. And a million was like bona fide legend status. Now it's a million to have a big name, if not millions, which is so ludicrous. Feels like everything we get as humans, we just need to find the solution or find the correct way. But then again, it's nature. It's gonna happen. But that doesn't mean I wish it didn't. See, I remember the time of Let's Plays being huge and the idea of a face cam being wild. And I fell in love with that style of content. With the release of Minecraft, which had its massive rise during some of my peak transforming years growing up, with it releasing in alpha while I was still in primary school, and pretty much playing it from then, I needed stuff to watch. I found a video of two friends, one of which had never played before, and another that knew some stuff. This video of course being the classic Minecraft Let's Play episode 1, How to Survive the First Night, by a duo that you may or may not have heard of called the Yogscast. And although I don't watch them nowadays, they were so influential in my younger years. And even though they had many years of reign and classic series made, eventually it started to flake out, as some could say that their content just never evolved with the new way that YouTube is. They didn't have all the brain rotten essentials for modern YouTube, to say it in easier wording. But there is still channels that do that old style, one of which I still watch occasionally is Ethos Lab, or Ethos Lab. If you don't know who he is, he's an OG Minecraft YouTuber from very early dawn YouTube, and his content was and is still some of the purest and, in my opinion, true YouTube content that's being made by a big YouTuber. Although I am far from the all-knowing YouTube man, but he is, I guess, like me. Although his topic is purely about the game, he is speaking calmly and not really raising his voice. The actual footage is just gameplay for the most part. No extra music, no crazy editing. Just him and the gameplay, the way it started. And I feel I always end up finding my way to those videos or those channels now that I've experienced the new style of content. I mean, to do the Dark Souls 100% run, I watched a series and user that I'm sure people in the community know, Mr. Fighting Cowboy. His content is that old feel. And yes, the videos were from 6 years ago, or at least the Dark Souls remaster was 6 years ago. That was also when the new type of content I feel was spawning, or at least appearing more often. Now it doesn't really feel like you're going to see those channels newly joining the platform, as everyone is so adamant on having the best gear or best script or video idea. Yes, all the people that utilize those things and make those type of videos are also very creative people and talented, but there's a real sense of something when you watch an old YouTube video. Some guy with a dodgy mic, some 720p if you're lucky gameplay, and all he's doing is speaking about something he experienced that day or what was going on in the game. People just doing what they do with their days, as YouTube wasn't really seen as a job, just a creative outlet. So they'd just record and make whatever idea that they had that day, which is why daily uploads was pretty much the norm. There wasn't this thought process of I need to make the video have higher watch time, or what's my CTR, or even asking for subs every video. Although I understand that if you do dream of this as a job nowadays, you really should be asking that. I'm by no means bashing them or bashing any of the new content. I still find content that is amazing on YouTube. It's just I can't find the same enjoyment level that kept me gripped for hours on end growing up. And maybe that's the growing up and having less time, but I don't know. I still have a good amount of time and I still really enjoy watching stuff. It's just that a series or movie is now something I'll more commonly go to, even if they're ones I've seen. To be honest, it's the same as YouTube. Sometimes I watch throwback videos instead of trying to find new stuff, as I just can't find anything that I want amongst the rat race that YouTube is now. Now, that's not to say that there isn't outliers, because there is. The most predominant figure that I've seen that's new and does olderish content is Nico Yaps, the guy that's added for inspo in all of the Waffling series video description, and that, to be honest, is probably one of the reasons I wanted to start this series or type of content. I wanted to go back to the old YouTube, a YouTube that I grew up on and I'm so fond of, to put my own spin on something that reminds me of the old times and makes me feel creative. Now, that's not to say that I don't like any new YouTube. I think that there is great channels channels that make awesome content, and I do watch loads of it. Still, it's just that sometimes it feels like there's only one type of content, and the old school, more chilled out, talk about whatever you want type of content is gone. And I think I just like the idea of being able to yap away, to be honest, and not really have much rhyme or reason behind it. Just kind of whatever I've been thinking about. Just enjoying being creative in the way I want. That's also to say that I see the comments and I try to reply to pretty much all of them. I really do appreciate the support from yous. But in the comments I hear advice or motivation thrown around, and I really am glad that people are getting those things from the vids, but they truly are just my rambles. I know that the video is going online and could be seen by somebody, so by nature I feel like I'm conversing with somebody, but maybe I'm just a nutjob. But with that, my nature also says that while I'm some deep rant, to start gassing whoever I'm speaking to up if I felt that they're needing it, and that's all I'd say I do. I guess in a way that could be considered motivational advice like, but other than that, it's just me talking about the world from my perspective. I don't want to be seen as some guru man that does no wrong or has no thought that I disagree with or sees life for what it is. I'm not. I'm just a youngin' that's speaking about his life, the way he sees things, and means no ill will. I've never been an angry guy or a malicious type, just a normal chill lad from the UK. If it does help, I'm glad, but please don't put the weight on my shoulders. It truly is just the world from my perspective, and that's all I've got to waffle on about really. I hope you enjoyed, and as ever, stay safe.